say we live once. If anything that I can pass on to people is we live once, and you never know what is coming around that corner. So you've got to live your best life. No regrets. Do what you've got to do and live it to the fullest, because who knows? Who knows? And from personal experience, I'm living for them.
Today's episode is a really special one. Today I'm joined by a beautiful soul and a renowned angel lady, Jayne Tunney. Jayne's work with the angelic realms has touched so many lives, and in this chat she opens up about her own journey, from her earliest experiences with angels to moments of loss, healing and powerful signs that kept her going. This conversational is emotional, uplifting and full of that pure reminder that we are never alone. So get comfy, open your heart, and let's dive into Jayne's story as she shares her messages from the angels. Hi Jayne, thank you very much for joining me this morning. How is it going with you?
Hi, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to our chat. I've been looking forward to this for a while. Yeah, all good. Thank you very much. Busy, always.
A huge congratulations is in order for publishing your new book. Can we have a little look, see, please?
Like that?
There it is, look. Oh, fabulous.
Pick a page.
Oh.
It's yes, it's so well received. And I sold one yesterday to a little boy, and it was all about him being brave, and he picked his bookmark about being brave. And then he said to me, it was like, and I catch spiders. And I was like, right, okay, you're braver than me, Ma. You're braver than me. So I got reading my little mousy page. So
yeah,
she's gone up here to this big scary door because she's trying to be brave herself, and she's like, ooh. And inside this huge house is a tiny weeny little mouse, because he thinks if he lives in this protective house, as we do, if we think we live in this big bubble and we make it bigger than bigger, he'll be okay. And she comes up and knocks on the door and goes, behind the door is a shy little mouse who hides inside this oversized house. Alone he gets frightened at this time of year. There's far too much spookiness and not enough cheer. But then through the glow came a soft golden light. Who could be this, be spreading warmth through the night? She whispered, don't worry, there's nothing to fear. And suddenly Halloween felt happy and clear.
Oh, I love that.
And she gets the big bag of sweets, and then the little mouse gets a secret wish as well, because, you know, bravery deserves a nice reward, doesn't it? So the little bit of the mouth goes, for all your kindness and courage true, when shadows danced and goblins flew, I gift to you a wish so bright to sparkle your heart on the darkest night. And that's what angels do, isn't it? That's what angels do. They gift to us the light when we're lost, when we're in the dark, when we're struggling, when we don't know what way to turn or how to cope or how to manage. The angels are always there. They're always behind us going, this way, come on. I'm pushing you along. I'm encouraging you. So I had to put it into a category as a children's book. Yeah, because it's big, it's gold, it's full of pictures. But as parents and grandparents and us that love a little bit of an uplifting book, it's reading between the lines. It's that subtle message that the angels are there. We're not on our own, and whatever we want to do, we can do. Whatever is possible, we can do. You know, she wants to wear an outfit, and sometimes, you know, I was saying this morning that I've got this party coming up, and I haven't got a clue what to wear, and I've got to fit in somehow. But I don't fit in. Why not be mixed up? Why not wear? Why be like everybody else?
That's it. Just do you.
Yeah, do me. Yeah. So that book is kind of a mixture of messages in there that us adults, grown-ups, with young hearts, yeah, that we can take on and we can learn from. So yeah. Really,
what inspired that book? So what inspired you to write that book?
It came from, as always, doodles, right?
Yeah.
Because I've never done Halloween, never done anything around Halloween with the angels before. And I just had my sketchbook out and I thought, you know what could I do? How could I incorporate them? And she was the one on the front was the first picture that I came up with. So we gave her a witch's hat, we gave her some potions, or gloopy glue as it's called in there. And it came from there. I started to share a few images and people were like, oh, wow, a combination of an angel and a little bit naughtiness. A little bit cheekiness and mischief night and all that came through. So it grew and a few people said, oh, you could turn this into a book. And before you knew it, you know what I'm like. I'm off on another tangent going, why not? And the words just came. I can't say they were channeled, but they were just there. And it took a life of its own, to be honest. And still is taking a life of its own.
Yeah.
Little Angel, as I call her, has been with me probably from the beginning. If I go back to my originals, she looks very like this. Still the same. Yeah, still the same. And I've always called her Little Angel. 15 years ago, she was still my little angel, my little guardian. And I've done all sorts of drawings with her birthdays, celebrations, loss, you name it. She's been all over. But she's never had a story of her own. She's been there for everybody else, but she's never had her words. And I think this is the time where I'm kind of pulling it together for her and my experiences in life. So I'm busy now at the moment working on the next one.
Yeah.
Christmas. Where she's going to learn how to turn a naughty elf into a good elf.
Oh, shit.
Yes. Because we've got lots of naughty elves that appear at Christmas, don't we?
Yes.
Love them. And all them is. Oh, yes, I've got in there I peed with the peas.
Have you? Oh. Wow, exciting.
I think the message behind it with the angels is that, we can do anything with their help. And they'll always be with us, whether we are feeling naughty or very, very good. The angels don't leave. They don't leave us alone. They try their best to guide us in some way. So this has been a very long journey. I would say 15-year journey to get to here. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yeah, I found a new lease of life that I didn't even know I had.
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, I didn't envisage this. My first book that I thought would be out, and I'm going back 5 years then, was more of a personal one about channeling with angels and the different archangels and my personal experiences where I started from, my own losses. That's what I thought was going to come out first.
Yeah.
And it will, but it's more biographical, more spiritual in the sense of teaching. This is what I went through. This is how, this angel can help do this. This is how to connect. And it will come. It will come when the time's right.
So how did you get here then? So how long have you been working? What's your background? How long have you been working with angels? And
so background wise, I've always worked with spirit and more from a healing perspective from being dinky dot. Okay. It's kind of in the family. My mum can do messages, several of my aunties and uncles, cousins. My great auntie Eva from up Richmond, Redcar Way, like up north, was a fabulous healer. She, over a lifetime, she had thousands of people going for healing. A proper old school spiritual healing. And I used to watch and take it in and think, I want to do that. And my hands would get hot and I'm going back to being a kid. And I'd be like, I could do this, but you don't know what to do. And even though, got family links, it was never encouraged, so to speak. It was never pushed.
No.
It was a choice if you want to do it at some point. So it took to me getting to being, I think I was about 16, 17 when I started going to the spiritualist churches.
Yeah.
Teach, learn me. I'm there. I want to know stuff. But you're the youngster, aren't you? You're the little one. And I felt the awkward one. Like, I'm not being taken seriously here. I can see what you're doing. I can see you're channeling that. I can see what you need. But having that voice to be able to do it in amongst people that, are older and more experienced, it didn't happen. So it took till I was in my early 20s. I went back to do a spiritual development class. And there was a lady there that was teaching it, and she's passed away now, sadly. But she was old school and fabulous. She just took me under her wing, and she was like, she just kept winking at me. When I get something right, she'd be like, yeah. She'd be like,
yes, done it.
Honestly, it was brilliant. We did trance, we did loads of psychic ESP, intuitive stuff. We would have to guess who was sitting behind us. She'd have us sit in the chair and somebody would be sat behind, and we'd have to guess who it was. All sorts of stuff, drawing, writing, channeling, all sorts. Brilliant. And then she took poorly when my middle daughter was due to be born. And like I said, sadly, she passed away. And that kind of stopped my world, if you like.
Yeah.
It just stopped the development until I was just before, when we were 30, my first husband passed away suddenly, to sudden adult death syndrome. He was here, and then he collapsed and left me with two little ones and not a clue what to do. And that was when Archangel Michael stepped in. It was like, oh gosh, like a lightning bolt. It was a few months after, and my mum had asked for an angel painting. She went, I just want something, because she was going through her own issues. She said, I just want something to put on my wall. And originally, she'd actually asked my boyfriend at the time, could he do something? Because he's like into abstract art and things. Could he do something? And he was like, absolutely at a loss. And when you'll know yourself when you have these like light bulb moments and you just got to do something. Yeah. It was there. I took the pencil and the paper off him, and I just drew this angel, and I just sat there like, oh wow, something just happened there. I'm like, okay. And I've still got that original upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was my very first. And now I understand why. Now working, for the last 15 years with Michael, I understand what he does to people and how he can interact so quickly when there's a risk of you deviating off the path you should be on. It's that impulsiveness that he comes through with such force, like, this is what you should be doing. I'm like, okay. And within 6 months, I was on events. I had pictures going out. I had messages. I had the page. I honestly turned my life around and brought through all of everything that, that I'd learned beforehand, all the healing stuff. And flew from there. And the longer I work, as you'll probably tell your students, the more you practice, the better you get.
Yeah.
Knowing the more you get, don't you? So more angels will come, more archangels, and then we got a little bit more personal. And now we're on, like first name, nickname terms. So
message.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just amazing what they do. But for me, I always, say we live once. If anything that I can pass on to people is we live once, and you never know what is coming around that corner. So you've got to live your best life. No regrets. Do what you've got to do and live it to the fullest, because who knows? Who knows? And from personal experience, I'm living for them. I work for them.
Can we just go back a little bit there if you're happy with it? So, okay, for me to go back. So, you are going about life. Life's normal. You 2 kids. It's all, it is what it is. You're married, lovely. And then your husband just dies. Just like that.
Yeah. Just dies. Yeah. Just like that. Yeah. There was no illness, no warning, no nothing. He went on a stag do to Newcastle. There was it was when we had the ash cloud. I don't know if you remember this. 2010, we had the ash cloud that came over Spain, and they were due to go there. That's where they were going to go.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
And they couldn't go, so they did an alternative, and they went to Newcastle. My goodness, am I thankful he did not go to Spain. Can you imagine Oh gosh. So they'd gone to Newcastle, and they'd had a lovely boys' night. They'd had all catching up, reminiscing as fellas do. And he was a police officer, so he was with a group of sergeants and things like this. So I knew he was in the best hands at the time, when he did pass. And it was the first place they walked into. And being a bit of a prankster, they thought he'd just fallen over.
Been dark.
The first reaction was, "Oh, we've not even had a drink yet. We've literally fallen apart." But he didn't get up. And that's when panic set in. But I know he was with the best people. They were all fully trained. There was nothing. And once we understood how sudden adult death works, there is nothing you can do.
No.
You cannot save the person. It's a chemical imbalance within the brain that sends a signal and it just misfires. It's not like a heart attack, so there's no pain associated. It just stops. Yeah.
So
That was yeah.
So from there, then, how do we go? Do you know what? I've had this, the most horrendous time of my life.
Yeah.
How then do I put my trust in angels when actually they could have helped me save my husband? Do you know what I mean? I know they can't. However,
Yeah.
that's how you would see it, wouldn't you? Like, well, if I'm supposed to be working with angels, why have you done that to me? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was my faith. I've
Yeah.
always had faith from being a young person. I have lost many people even before Neil. That it just tests you, doesn't it? It does test you. I can't go into all my traumas.
No.
But I've had a fair few. I've had a fair few in younger years, shall we say, when I was little. And I think those ups and downs was a test of my strengths. When I saw him, when we went to Newcastle Hospital, and at this point, because it'd been a few hours after, it was early hours in the morning, he was in like a chapel arrest kind of thing, like a restful place. And they tucked him in, as they do. They go around, they put and I was like, nope, that is not how he slept. Never in a million years. So I went round, I untucked all the covers. I had to take his jewellery off. Yeah, I did. Took all his jewellery off because I said, you can't leave anything, but we can't take it off. You need to. And I sat next to him. And I asked, "Are you okay? Have you passed okay? How are you managing? I know that this has been a shock. This is a shock for me." But I talked to him with my spirit head on. And as much as I was lost in that grief in that moment, I needed clarity that he was okay, that he hadn't suffered, that he was in pain, and that he was managing to move to the. I wanted to see him go to the spirit world as best as possible.
Yeah.
And his mum and dad were there, and they were grief stricken and crying and kept saying, "Come and sit with us, come and sit." And I was like, "No, I need 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, just leave me to sit quietly," because they didn't obviously know what I was doing, but I just needed a few minutes just to connect with him spiritually to say, "Are you okay? All right. I know we'll be all right on this side. We'll pull through, but I need to know that you've got where you've got to be, and that somebody is there to meet you." And all I got back was peace. Was like, "Yes, I'm okay. I'll be all right." And it was a sense of going. Then I knew he'd done and he'd moved. I didn't want to leave, don't get me wrong. At the end of the night, time to go, and everybody had to come back down home. I was like, no, no, I really don't want to leave this hospital because he's here. The body, his physical self is here, and I don't want to leave. And that is the grief side talking. I couldn't let go. Even though I'd let go of the spiritual, I was like, the physical still like, it's real, it's raw, this hurts. But we did. I have no idea what happened for the next week. No idea. None. It's a complete blank.
Is it? Yeah.
I don't know what went on there. I know I took sleeping tablets. To console me, if you like, but I just don't know what happened. I stayed at my mum's. We lived there with the kids for a good 2 weeks, but the first week I've not got a clue. Until we got to funeral time and everything. And it's then you start to really pull yourself together, because that is like your closing chapter of any passing, isn't it? It's that.
Yeah.
And I just explained to the kids, because he was a police officer and working nights, that they didn't really know no difference to start with. He just wasn't there for a few days.
Yeah.
And I do remember telling them that he'd gone to work for God. I sat with them on the sofa and I just put my arms around them. And Amy doesn't remember anything. She was only 2.
Oh.
Alexander remembers little bits because he was 4. And he's got one of those like photographic memory things. He's nuts.
Yeah.
Which we didn't know at the time. But I told him he'd gone to work for God. I said he's got to be a police officer in heaven. I said, so he's going to go sort the baddies out up there. In their lingo, that they would understand that he, he's going to go do a job, but and we'll see him again eventually. But he has to go do a very important job for God now. Get the baddies out. And they took that and they ran with it. Don't get me wrong, we've had a lot of ups and downs over the years. A lot of terms, a lot of processing, as anybody does. And it's not always the easiest.
Hi, I'm just taking a quick break to thank you all so much for listening to the podcast and for all your lovely support. If this episode gave you something to think about or simply felt helpful, you can support future episodes and my tea habit over at Buy Me a Coffee. The link is buymeacoffee.com/guide to spirituality. Every little bit helps me keep creating, sharing and growing this space, and I'm truly grateful.
And I hope in some ways, because they've come through as very strong people, that my faith has almost rubbed off on them.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think then your belief with the angels and your relationship with the angels has not made it easy? I don't mean it like, oh, it's been all right then because I had the angels, but yeah, you think that having a support system there has been, has helped?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. One of the people that used to say to me even in the early years was, you're so strong, how do you get through these things? You don't look bothered by anything. It's like, well, I am internally, everybody gets bothered. I'm a human living a spiritual experience here on earth with everybody else. I'm going to have these moments. But my faith, and I think anybody that has those big faith beliefs, that strength behind them, it pushes us and it gets us through an awful lot. I know on a bigger perspective, things happen for a reason. And yes, he has had to go off and do other things. It was his time. And he still helps me now. He's still a guide to me. He's come back many a time. At first, it was just flashes, his brown trousers going past the door, like he's here. Yeah. He's presented it in different ways. And in a way, I think he's brought my Amy on, because he used to call out Amy's name, and he used to have a very deep voice. And I had to teach her about protection, about closing down, shutting down, saying no. Bedtime is not the time for spirit to come. They want to come visit. And it was also good when they were at school, because I'd say, well, Daddy's watching. Yeah. Get up to anything, He's relatable, innit? I do think, my faith is massive. Absolutely massive. And it can get anybody through. And if I can rub that off onto anybody and say, come on, you're not on your own. You do have a team. You always have a team. It's the relationship you build with them that's important. They're not just there to watch over you and just keep you safe. They're there to work with you, to guide you, to help you, to converse, talk to them. And I have done that since I was little. I've always talked to spirit. I have, when people were poorly, aunties, uncles, great aunties, uncles, when they've been in hospital, it's that psychic link to people. Yeah. I would go visit their room, their hotel, hospital room, and I would send them healing, and and I've had some amazing messages come back from them when I was younger. I once saw my Auntie Eva's guides there, and it frightened me at the time, because I'd got to see somebody in hospital, and I was there and I was doing what I would not, sending you healing and hoping you feel better, and just those prayer thoughts, isn't it? And I was very aware whilst I was kind of in this state, these two people had entered the side of me, and I was like, oh, there's somebody else in. Oh, I wasn't expecting you. Like, and there were two priests, and I very quickly withdrew because I was like, oh, I don't know who you are. I don't know what's going on. I normally just go on there by myself. And then my Auntie Eva sent a letter going, I know you saw my guides. And I was like, no way. How does she know?
Yeah.
8 miles away up in Richmond. I was like, how do you know I was even there?
I've been creeping about.
I have just been sneaking into people's energies. She taught me a few things about, preparation of being in people's spaces and protecting your own space, because thankfully it was only her two guides, her two priests were there. I'm like, naughty.
You've been captured, lady. You've been captured, and I
think I was only about 15 at the time. So yeah, it was very odd. So yeah, so I've worked with spirit for a very long time, and it has helped me massively through a lot of things. My job now, as I see it, is I work, as I call them, head office. Yeah, I work for them. And yeah, I do push back sometimes. I do disagree with management. I do say it.
Absolutely.
I can't do that. I can't be everywhere. I can't do everything. So I do occasionally. I'm like the stroppy one at work.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to do things, and sometimes I don't.
Yeah. I know mine look at me sometimes like, oh, here she goes again. I know they do this, mine. Oh, right.
Yeah, shake their head at us. But, we are human, aren't we? And we encourage a spiritual path, and we encourage spiritual development for self-awareness, self-healing, self-growth. But we are human, and we can't do all what they do. It's just, I'd love to be able to, fly around people's houses, literally. But I can't. No. But in my book, she was, they're wishing for a broomstick, so we can.
There you go.
We can all have a broom. Off we go.
And I'll start out.
Yeah.
So you actually teach Reiki as well, don't you? Reiki Master.
I do. Yeah, I've done that for quite a few years now. I looked for a healing line, if you like, because, like I said, I've done various different healing techniques, but I wanted something that was practical, relatable for people's lives, coping mechanisms, that included mindfulness and strategies. So for me, I teach a little bit of spiritual healing, a little bit every now and again, but it's much more, it's that higher vibration, isn't it? It works in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
And I wanted something that was practical, people could do every single day. So when I came across Reiki, which is one of those by chance coincidence things, it fit the bill. It was like one of those moments I was like, right place, right time. This is what I'm looking for. And I did it as a practice for a few years because I think it is good to be able to know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's that massive.
Yeah.
And I'm still like that when I teach. If we do Reiki 1, I don't mind there being a short gap to Reiki 2, depending on previous skills, what they're already doing. But to Reiki Masters, I like a gap because I like you to know what you're talking about. And to be a master of something, you've got to be bloody good at it.
I'll shove. Yeah.
And you only get that with practice, don't you? You only get that by doing it. And if you can prove to me you're doing it, then I'll teach you Reiki Masters.
Fair enough.
It's one of them because in the lineage, I come above you, and I want to know that you're really good and you're really serious, because it's not just, can you meditate? Some people can, some people can't. It's the precepts, it's the spiritual belief that goes behind it, that we are one. We are all connected, and we can all bring this energy down through us as a channel. It's deeper than what people see as a certificate. It's a lifestyle, life choices. And, when we get to the Reiki Master stage, it's recognizing your uniqueness and your own spiritual power, and really feeling that you are connected to the spirit world and you have tools to be able to use them for your highest good in this life. So I like to get down into people's emotions to kind of go, who are you? What do you bring to the table? Where is your power? And can you have that faith to know you're not on your own? You've got this energy, this vibration that never ever dies. It never dies. It just changes. Energy changes. And whether that is in, crystal form, spirit form, sofa that I'm sat on, somebody's made this, been through somebody's materials, and it has an energy of its own. It has a life force. So, some people think I'm a bit quirky in that I talk to pretty much everything. Why not?
Oh, why not?
Exactly. Why not? Because, when you're doing things like, going off on a tangent here, like, cord cutting, house cleansing, that kind of thing, everything has an energy, it has a vibration.
Yeah, of course it does.
And to me is a name for that energy work. We've got so many different names for things, but we all come back to the basis of energy exists in many forms. It doesn't die, it just changes. And we have a choice over how we use that energy, no belief. So yeah, I love.
Do you know when you were saying like you have people to sort of go within themselves, really, so connect with themselves deeply before you would obviously teach them Reiki Master and what have you? So I suppose really you're sort of asking people to really get to know themselves. So I mean, we all have healing to do all the time. I'm not saying that, but actually there's quite a bit of healing to do, and I agree with that, because I always feel like if somebody isn't comfortable with who they are, or they don't know who they are, how can they pass healing on to somebody else and go, do you know what? This is what you need. How can you do that?
You can't do it fully. You can't do it authentically, because if you don't know you don't know your emotions, you're not aware of what you need to heal, and you don't know what you're on. And when you're on somebody's auric field, and we are when we're doing either spiritual Reiki or any kind of healing, even if it's like massage and things, you're in that person's auric fields. You are in their vibration. You are sharing. So what you bring is what you give.
Yeah.
And it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, yes, to a point, we can park ourselves outside the room, can't we? Family, shopping, kids, household bills. We can park an element, a human element, but we can't park our spiritual element. That travels with what our soul is connecting with their soul. And I'm very mindful, even at Reiki 2, it's like I'm teaching at the moment, and what you bring, even if you're pushing and pulling on somebody's energy or removing something from somebody's energy, you've got to be very sensitive to how they feel, because you're the one doing it. So I always get them to put this on each other to go, you can be at the receiving end. How does it feel to have that energy removed? How does it feel if somebody's doing this to your energy? It's not nice. With eyes closed and everything, it's like, did you like that? And you wait for their reactions and you go, right, I'll tell you what I've done. And that's how it feels. And it's one of those, to do it properly, you've got to be able to walk the talk.
That's it. It's all right. And not, I don't mean this like disrespectfully. I feel that, and people do it with any sort of work. I know when I started college, I did hairdressing, and it's one of them where you think, oh, well, you'll just do it because it's messing about with somebody's hair. And there's that much theory to it. Actually, it took me 3 years. I did it, but it was like, bloody hell, this is a lot more than what I thought. And I think sometimes with like Reiki and other healing modalities, people go, well, it's straight. It's just drawing a few symbols and it's putting your hands over people. It's nothing like that. To do it properly and to be there's got to be.
It drives me potty a little bit. And those that know me, in my regular lovelies, will know it winds me up. Because there are practitioners out there that are absolutely amazing. Haven't got the full skill set. They've not been taught everything. And then you've got those at the other end that think they're absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
But they don't have the tool set. Self-development is the key.
That's it.
Knowing yourself and being able to work on your own energies, but also devoting time. When you've got those pieces of paper or you've got those skills, do you then just rush out and give it to everybody else? You've got to remember yourself, making an appointment with yourself every week or every month to go, that I am blocking out. That is my appointment with me. Nobody disturbs me. And then you work on your own energy fields. It's the amount of people that stop and just, start flittering it out to the world. And it's like, but have you done your own Hatsareho? Have you come back and cleansed your own energy? Have you done your dry brushing? Have you put your crystals at the front door that you talk about? Have you done these things in your own home? Have you got your selenite on your mantelpiece? It's those things you think, well, if you're not doing it for you, then how can you go teach that? How can you tell somebody else to go do it? It's a bit like when we give guidance to people, isn't it? And we're talking and things, and and like this, somebody will pick something up and you think, have you listened to what you've actually said?
Yeah.
That message was just meant for you. I feel like, oh, yes, I should eat my own words.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? And if practitioners want to do the best, and we need the best at the moment, don't we? The world's
Yeah,
up
of course.
Yes. And I think what we'll find next year, because this has been a bit of a healer's year with the snake, I think what we'll find next year is a lot of the healers wanting to push their skills next year. It's a motivational year. So I think we'll find them wanting to either relearn, add to their skill set,
Yeah.
themselves that little bit more to understand why they do what they do. And we can only hope that's for the better. That we'll get the best healers going, the best for the world, really, not just on a personal level, but the world needs the love at the moment.
It massively does.
Yeah, the environment. Animals.
I know when I did my Moon Reiki a few years ago, I did all the rites so I can pass on the rites massively. And just going back to something you said there, where I've never felt it with the right time as yet. I felt like I still feel like there's some sitting with it still. It's such a big thing. To me is the Moon Reiki. It was so important to me when I did it. And the roots went very deep within me. I noticed a lot of change in myself when I did the Moon Reiki. I noticed a lot of change in how spirit connected with me and a lot of difference in my readings, actually. And when I open sacred space, the energy around me changes massively. It's a really deep connection, and I will pass it on. But I've never felt like it was time yet. And I think it's because I were having such a deep connection myself and such a deep in myself that I were never actually quite ready. But I know that when I do pass it on, which won't be too much longer, when I do start to pass it on, I know that what I'm doing is right. Does that make sense? I know that it's so well within me and so deep within me. I know that what I'm giving over is exactly right. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, because then you've got faith in it.
Yeah.
Coming back to your faith, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've worked on your own and you've worked on yourself and you've done everything you needed to do. So your faith has grown.
Yeah.
Your spiritual side has grown. And I say faith's a two-way street. If you have faith in them, they've got to have faith in you. And you've probably shown that in your development work and in yourself that they go, we got faith in Stacey more.
Yeah.
You can point her in the right direction. She's ready for the next step. And they'll leave you on up. Yet next year is much more of a motivational action kind of year where we're going to be literally driven to do things. So it might be the right time. The other thing I'm thinking off the top of my head now is that you've been doing some elemental work as well, which is kind of getting your roots and underneath you and getting some of those elemental things going. So it might be that you've needed to do that bit as well.
Beforehand. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really amplify what you're about to do. I always think there's a reason. I am probably the most positive person in the whole world. No matter the situation, I will find a positive in it. Because I think there is always a lesson and there's a teaching. If we stop and reflect on some of the decisions that we've made or some of the things that's going on and we think, okay, Why have you done that? What's going on? What am I supposed to do? How can I change that situation? Where's my control? Where's theirs? And when we analyze it a little bit, we can get to start to see that bigger picture of what Archangel Metatron's mainly up to, because he's the designer, he's the organizer. So we can see what he's tinkering with. And then you go, okay, I get it now. I'm ready for that step. And then you just go, I always put my arms up and go, right, what's next?
Yeah, what's that?
You know, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I don't like. They'll go, oh, you got to go do this. And I go, no. But if you're open to it, I think you'll fly.
Yeah, definitely. Funny you should say that, actually, because actually I was going to say to you, what is next for Jayne? What is next for Jayne Tunney?
What is next for me? Oh my goodness. Oh, you see, this is where people think I'm nuts as well. I go, what?
I like nuts. You're in the right place.
Exactly. I am very faith driven, if you like. I'm kind of very fluid in what I do and what they present me with. So I've worked with Jophiel for the last, maybe it's nearly 3 months now. And Jophiel is the creative one, the arty one. And I love, so I run with it. As soon as he like drops in, I'm like, yes, let's go. So I've done loads of different crafts and things. So I've done angel numbers on key rings. I've done some sigils with protection things on. Just like I've got some crystal angels. Honestly,
they're cute as.
Just beautiful. So I'm kind of coming to the end of some of that. I know I am, because I'm starting to wrap some of those projects up. So I know Jophiel's kind of like his energy's waning, if you like. But I feel I am doing a Christmas book. I am doing Christmas Angels Adventures. And I feel like it's Gabriel actually that's coming around next. Now, I love Christmas. Love it, right? I am just like the glitz and glam. You know, this gets turned into Santa's grotto.
With you on that, Jayne. Christmas is my absolute, like, I can't tell you.
It's just amazing. It's a time to be childlike.
If I hadn't have met my husband, I'd have married Santa Claus, let's tell you that.
Yes.
So, I would have done.
Yeah, I think it's a lovely time, and we as a family absolutely love it. So I always shut down over Christmas. The last couple of years, to be fair, I've got shut down a little bit earlier, just simply because of the world. I'm posting and everything's just gone so slow. So I shut down even early. Good excuse, really. I like 2 weeks off at Christmas so that I can downtime with the family, movies. You know, just we all come together. But New Year, well, 2026. I celebrate Chinese New Year. Okay, so I do Chinese New Year readings for people, and we go off the date of birth, your date of birth. I'll have to do you one, Stacey.
We're going to set having it done now, Jayne. You've got me. I'm there. Do it.
Yeah,
ready.
Absolutely, I'll have to do you one. So it's based on how your sign rubs alongside the sign of the year or runs with it. Now, because it's a horse, we're full steam ahead. And it's a fiery one as well. So we've got a lot of passion next year, a lot of emotion. So I'm hoping to do my Christmas one and to keep the stories kind of flowing. If I'm going to use, some of Gabriel's energy, the communicator, there's going to be more groups and more activities that I'm going to be running. I've got Christmas blessings coming up. I'll have the Reiki 1 started again in January. Reiki 2's probably March time. I have some more events booked in. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. There's something coming up there. Around the May time. Anyway, but lots of things. But for me, I think it will be more communication based over the next few months. Okay. Definitely. I just feel like Gabriel's sneaking in and it's all speaking, writing, channeling, drawing, which I love, but it doesn't have the same spontaneity, crazy impulsiveness, riskiness that Jophiel has.
Okay.
Jophiel's more of a do it now. Yeah. Gabriel's more of a let me think about this and let's put it into a bit better words. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I think there's a few things lined up. I would love to do an oracle deck based on Archangel Samuel, right? And I have said this up to the heavens about 3 years ago. I was like, I would love to do an Archangel Samuel deck, right? It's not happened. So whether it'll happen next year, I don't know.
Shall see.
Yeah, we shall see what the year of the energy holds. But I would love to at some point because I'm a pink girl through and through. I love pink. And I'd love to have a pink deck.
Blue me, which is Michael, and I got him mixed up. I'd thought Michael was pink. He's not, is he?
No, he's blue. He's blue. Yes, he's been my deck for this year. He's worked predominantly this year. It's been his year for changing people's paths, for really giving us a little shake up and making some endings happen in our lives. He really has worked hard this year. He comes kind of with a war-esque feel.
Yeah.
He might soften in December. I'm not sure. Maybe it's in January, but he's got some very big endings to finish for people. So my advice is, if you haven't wrapped up some projects, do it. Hurry up. Otherwise he will. And it might be that somebody else takes that idea from you, or somebody else decides that they're going to do that, and it's gone. So if you don't do it, yeah, somebody else might.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. He's quite hardcore this year. It's Michael.
All right.
Yeah.
That'll get myself in gear then. Get myself into gear. Jayne, it's been amazing speaking with you today. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I can talk.
Yeah, but when that next book comes out, we'll have to have a little look, see what we'll have to have another little part 2, won't we?
Oh, yeah. Christmas vibes.
Oh, no, you'll have to wear a Christmas hat though, because I won't have it any other way.
Tinsel.
Yes. Oh, fabulous.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been lovely, Stacey. Really lovely.
So if anybody wants to get in touch with you, Jayne, where do they find you?
Oh, I am on Facebook, Instagram, kind of a little bit on TikTok, but I don't really understand it.
I don't understand the TikTok. It's not for me.
I don't get my head around that one. And that's Angel Wings Art.
Yeah.
Or the website, www.angelwingsart.co.uk. I do have a YouTube channel, again, Angel Wings Art. At one point, everybody knew me as the Angel Lady, and I had to even change my profile picture on Angel Wings Art, right, to put my name on it, to go, I'm Jayne. You're just the Angel Lady. I was like, no, I actually have a name.
But it's like Colette that's been on, who does the dragon healing. I call it Dragon Lady. I didn't know her name for ages, and then when it turns out I've been spelling her name wrong, so she's supposed to be Dragon Lady anyway. So
it's one of those things, and it's lovely, isn't it? It's lovely to be known.
It is what it is, isn't it?
It is. So Angel Wings Art is me. Or you could just Google me. I'm on most things. So you'll find me.
Oh, brilliant, Jayne. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Still. See you in a bit.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to me, Stacey Bauer, on Guide to Spirituality podcast. If you enjoyed this chat, feel free to follow, share, or leave a review. It really helps. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and keep showing up for you. See you next time.